Right, so for last session, in the last session, let me just find my notes. You left Driftwick in your folding boat, and you did a little bit of you flexed your cartography skills and your seafaring skills, and you managed to weave your way north towards the mainland itself. So the island that you're on is South Stormstead Isle, and you are heading for the port of Black Harbour Vic. On your way, you spotted, or Kalen spotted, a hydra which was swimming beneath the boat, and then you had a battle. There was some good morphing, should we say? We had a giant shark. We had a giant octopus. It was like some sort of Japanese movie from. It was a spooky movie from the 70s. Ah, hurrah!
Hurrah!
Oh no! Fuck it off.
Should have had Kaze in there.
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
With a cameo.
I to be honest, I enjoyed it. I think the on that sort of fighting a beast like that, just sort of having it static, where you're just fighting the beast or fighting the numerous heads. I thought I was happy with how that turned out. But it was a good battle.
I'm just glad we didn't die. I'm glad we didn't die. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't cut off heads.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No one took any heads off.
Could have been in real trouble.
So you managed to make it into the water of Black Harbour Vic, and you sort of seen it from the sea, if you like. So you could see that there's this port which is sprawled out before you. It's not overly huge, but it's really big, with sort of the traffic around in that area from ship wise and trading. You can see that there was a hill on the right as you looked at it, with a keep on top of it. You can see there's a gate, which, as you got off the boat and had a look, was a skull of a giant, like just giant sort of skull. And then you made your way inside, just sort of starting to explore with Tobin in tow, where you then make your way into a market area, town centre, square, where you can see that there's been a sort of scaffolding type structure that's been erected with people on it that were about to be hanged. And you see this old warrior with grey hair, grey beard, stern face, really sort of well built, and he's got within this giant wolf that sits alongside him, and he delivers a speech to the people in the square, and he's talking about the harboring of rebels. Basically, he's talking about people that are not following the laws, who will be rooted out of the city, and making a example, if you like. He orders then that the floor be dropped, sending the people within the noose then to the death, which is at that point where we left it. Tom woke up for that bit, which was nice. And
I did. I actually woke up just in time to hear about the offer of amnesty for those who didn't.
Yeah. And then you get all the way
rules.
to the end of it, deliver this powerful speech, Oscar winning, and he went,
Yeah.
"You say all that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Go back to sleep."
That Tom thing.
That's something, yeah. Weddings for
Yeah,
Paul, sleeping for Tom.
I was
like our
too
brew
knackered.
could be in
Like that
trouble.
either. I was shattered.
That's
Shattered.
fair.
You had turned into a giant shark. I mean, that's got some energy, hasn't it?
I'm gonna say,
Oh
was an
no, this
What have you
fish
done now?
isn't right.
He was an octopus.
He's now
I thought
collapsed on the side.
the wizard was a shark.
Give it mouth to mouth, Daryl.
Oh yeah, octopus.
how many tanks have you got going? You were on the other side before.
Yeah, but it's moved round here, and now
How
it's
big is it?
on its side, but it's on the sand now, which means it's
Ah.
going to get eaten. See, the
So
thing
I
is,
was
got to
doing-
go in there to get it out, or just fucking swim off like it's full of energy. Like, you know, Tom at the end of the session. Did it again. Right. Anything for anyone? Is there anything that's apart from Tom waving at me? Is there anything that anyone wants to
Did we
bring up,
re-
discuss?
did we rest before?
Yeah, we
did
rested on the
all end
boat.
up resting on
Yeah.
the boat before we're
Yeah.
turning up full of beans, so to speak.
We did.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right, all right.
the Hydra was the day before, wasn't it? And you sailed through the night,
Cool.
I think,
Yeah,
and
rings a
then
bell.
made it into Black Harbour Vic morning-ish. And with the morning, there is nothing better in the morning than a cup of, a hanging. Yeah, it's definitely a hanging. Get him hung. Nice.
That's just
Well,
me to go on.
lovely.
Right. So, as
Well
you
hung.
are we hell hung? Should we make a start then? So as you watch, you can see that there is an individual in very similar but less. Well, I don't want to say flamboyant. That's the wrong word, but less sort of a lower station, should we say, of uniform, of guard uniform at the other end of the this structure, who releases the floors. The floors drop and they all fall. You can hear a couple of necks breaking. Others are struggling, legs kicking, and you can see that there's a look of indifference on the older man's face, who turns pats his wolf, and as he does so, he turns, and you see that there is a old figure sort of standing behind, and he's got like worn robes, if not scruffy, holes, dishevelled. He has a beard which is long, matted, hair which is like spider web. It's just out and flowing in the breeze, and you can see that he's really old, older than the man that has given the order for the hanging, and you can see that one of his eyes is dead. It's just a white eye, and he leans in, and as he leans in, you can see that this commander sort of leans away and sort of turns and looks and then listens in, and he gives a nod, and then the two start to walk sort of behind where they were hanging, and then down a series of steps where there's guards sort of waiting, sort of just round the back that you can see. And the crowds are sort of in these like sort of pockets. It's not like full. There's these like pockets of people, but it's really sort of, it's not empty by any stretch of imagination. It's quite full, and you can start to feel the patter of rain, and you start to see that against the cobbles, it quickly gets wet and starts to come down, look quite heavy, and people start to move away, not dispersing immediately, like leaving, but just sort of like moving away from the scene. You can see that some people may be holding back emotions. Other people sort of holding on to a woman who looks like she could be crying, maybe just reserving that, and they start to walk around and move away from the center of this very large square. As you're looking around, you can see, if you're just taking a 360, you can see that the buildings are all sort of neatly lined into this square. It's not like it's a square that's just formed. The buildings along it are very much there to form that square. You can see that the buildings are arranged in height. They're not all the same height. They're not all the same sort of building, but they end in that sort of square formation. There are gaps between the buildings, allowing for obviously people to walk in and out. But you can see that there are these pillars of sort of white, creamish, and mottled with darks and browns. These sort of like pillars that rise up and are rounded at the top. Where these pillars are, these gaps are in the building, allows for people to walk out and move around the pillars. You can see that behind the gallows, you can see that there is a huge ornamental building. It's not ornamental to a like a Roman building or anything like that. But it's very much got its own sort of stylized. It's more stylish, if you like, than the buildings that are adjacent to it. And you can see that there is a dome on top of this particular building, dead center, and in line with the pathway that you approached from the sea. And as you turn around and have a look, the one thing that does catch your eye is that there are sort of hills from the beyond the city to the left and also to the right. But on the one to the right, you can see that there is an old fort that you can see. You remember seeing that there was scaffolding around this. There's a lot of construction, broken walls, etc. And you can see that you see from where you are, this hill sort of goes up, and you can see that there's a line of walls interspersed with these sort of towers, sort of form like a barrier, like a defense around the keep. The defense is on the port side. It's actually on the side of where you are. Obviously, it's natural defense on the other side, being the cliff edge that it's perched on. But you can see that there's a large square building and a tower alongside it, forming the keep above. And everything else is the sounds of people milling around. There's the faint smells of food and stalls. People are busy in this area, sort of moving around. Seagulls, everything that that's scent of the sea, and the morning air as the rain starts to come down. So with that, what would you guys like to do?
Can I get a sense of the crowd and this event of this hanging? Because in certain societies, that's a celebration. Like in certain societies, that's a thing where people come out and have drinks and make a party out of it and go fucking nuts. And in certain societies, it's like they're there out of respect. Can I try and get just a general read of the crowd as to like, Is this like a high day and holiday thing, or is this like a, oh shit, this is going on, this has happened? Does it seem to be a regular occurrence? Do I get any sort of? I'm trying to pick that up from the vibe of the crowd, really.
Yeah, so roll an insight.
Sight. Not good at that. Only got a natural 1. So
Oh shit!
I got a natural 1, -1 for a 0. We're off to a flyer, lads.
It's hard to gauge. Some of it doesn't need a roll. You can see that like I said, you can see that there are some emotions
Yeah.
that are being kept back. The real question really is why are those emotions being kept back? If there is a purpose behind it. Others look like they've been seen, gone, but it doesn't seem like it's people have gathered to see a spectacle. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, with that, it's probably as much you're gonna get.
Yeah. Sure. I think Tavis is pretty distracted with yeah, his mind's elsewhere, thinking of other places and times where justice is being meted out.
Do we see like any small groups like whispering to each other, or?
I can roll perception.
Natural 20?
You can see that. You can see that.
Balance.
Yeah, no, it's good. You can see that there are groups of people that are within that are conversing. Obviously, the rain is starting to sort of move people away into finding shelter. A lot of people don't look like they're in that much of a rush. You imagine that rainfall here is pretty
Common, yeah.
high likelihood. You can see that there are people talking in small groups. I would say that in one particular group there looks to be anger.
Yeah.
They look to be angry, and one of the group has got like a sort of a nervous look, a sort of look that's sort of looking round like as if to sort of say, let's not have this conversation here. That sort of vibe that you're getting from.
Yeah. Okay. Any distinct characteristics on anyone in that group?
Not really. A lot of the people here are sort of wearing sort of more heavier clothing. A lot of it looks like it's maybe been waxed, giving it an element of waterproof. They look like a hardy community of people.
Yeah.
Have they just left the body still out, like hung?
Yeah, the bodies themselves are, some are still twitching. You're not too far away from the body themselves to get a look. However, there's still quite a large sort of presence of the guards, and you can also see that the commander of the guard and also the old man with the dead eye have sort of moved towards the back. They're sort of heading away and out, and they've got an entourage of guards with them.
Where we are now, there isn't any like sort of wanted posters up or anything of anyone or anything that I can see.
Make a perception check.
That is 15.
15. Where you are, you can see that there are boards with papers, but these are sort of like away, like not like I'd say no, like maybe like a notice board for the town itself. You can see that there's a notice board. To see what's actually on it, it's a bit far away to actually see it.
Can I make my way over there just to see if I can? Obviously, because we can see the people's faces. I'm just wondering if there'd be anything where they detailed them on the board, so I can see what they might have done.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're heading over towards the board itself.
Yeah, I don't want to push people past or anything, but I'm just trying to make a beeline for it just so I can have a look and see if I find anything of interest.
Yeah, a lot of people are seeing you as a thing of interest. A dragonborn walking through the streets, not to a point where like people are, you're not the bearded lady, but you're definitely something that doesn't pass through this that often.
But
and as you
that doesn't. I always feel that now, so it doesn't faze me as it would have done years ago. But I still know that I'm getting people's attention just by walking through.
Yeah. As you make your way over to the notice board itself, you can see that there's various sort of sort of bits and pieces that's on there. Sort of usual, jobs for hire and all that sort of stuff that you can see on there. There is a large poster which is, as you're looking at it, it says wanted, and then underneath it says Sons of Hakon. And any information, any information, and then under that it would say 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold. Can I just check, make sure that no one's like proper gazing at me, because I'm just going to get close and just sort of like pull it off and then put it into my jacket.
You can make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, I'll have a go. It's about these. 11.
Yeah. And you sort of do it in a very casual, I'm supposed to be doing this sort of way.
Yeah.
But quickly getting out the way. You know what I mean? So you sort of swipe it quick, fold, and it goes into your. I guess you've got a cloak on.
Yeah, I've got my jacket.
Yeah, you inside, and pocket that, and then yeah.
I'm just gonna sort of make my way back, because I'm guessing the group is still sort of in the center. So I'm gonna make my way back and just sort of show them, look, this is what I think this could be, and pass it around.
Have any of us ever heard of Akon? Or Sons of Akon?
Roll a history check.
How's it spelled when I look at it?
It's Hakon.
Hakon.
Can I do the same? I'd be thinking the exact same question going through my mind. Where's my history? I got 19.
I got 21.
14.
Okay. For you, Matt, Tavis, you're very much like something's on the tip of my tongue here. I can't place it. I know it, and I can't place it at all. It's irritating.
It's resonating, but it's not landing. Yeah.
Yeah. However, on a, what did you say you had, a 21?
21.
21. On the 21, you've heard it's sort of like a sea shanty, it's sort of like a sea sort of rhyme. And it's called Hakon and Imvar. And it's quite a tragic tale of about a couple. Now you wouldn't know the words, you wouldn't be able to recite it, but you know about Hakon and Imvar. You'd have just heard it going through especially somewhere like Waterdeep or any sort of port on your travel. That rings a bell. That name rings a bell.
Yeah, like a folk song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A ballad or a rhyme, a shanty, whatever it would be.
Yeah.
Were all the people that were hung, were they all men?
No, no, and they weren't all adults either.
Okay.
There were some sort of young teenage boys, a couple of men, a woman.
I woke up to someone nearby and asked the question, who were these people?
First of all, I'd like you to just roll a persuasion check just for your manner of coming across, because they don't. This is sort of. It seems like a sensitive time for a stranger to be asking this question.
Okay. Nah, they're not talking to me. 3.
Yeah, they sort of look and move away. I'll ask for an insight check.
That's 15.
Wariness, possibly fear in their face. Who are you? Who are you? And you get this. You get the feeling that these are people that are that the screw is being turned here. Strangers just rock up, asking questions. You know what I mean? There's a serious lack of trust as they just start. So they sort of look, and then move away and make their way towards one of the ways out of this square.
Okay.
Would Thorin have pointed out the group that he saw?
No. Because I wouldn't have wanted to draw any attention to them.
Yeah. You wouldn't have told us nothing. No, that's fine. Okay.
Well, I think first things first. I think a good meal could do us all some good.
Yeah, well, we were hoping, weren't we, to like find maybe libraries and find something out about like the Stone Circle and the Druids and the history and all stuff that might relate to Isla.
Yeah.
Find somewhere to get something to eat and maybe see what the local chatter is.
Sounds like the tavern's the place.
And there'll probably more talk about the hanging that's just happened as well.
Let's see if we can't keep an eye out for a place that looks popular. We don't want to stand out not too posh, loose lips, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe don't tip too heavy.
Yes. So yeah, I'll have a look around and see, is there anywhere in particular like that the masses seem to be heading kind of towards that seems popular rather than like anything highbrow or anything like that. I don't. Travis's instinct would be that maybe that's away from the square, like a street or two back or something, because the square is going to be where the rich folk take their drinks and that. So
Probably go in the
Roll,
opposite.
roll perception.
I'd probably go in the opposite direction to where that fella was going.
hey, guess what? That's my second natural one of the night.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
That dice is being retired. A total of 5. I still see jack shit. So listen, at least we're not in a fight
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
yet. Yeah. Tavis perceives his way into an ambush.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell for
Yeah. Tavis is again. I think like the reason that is that Tavis is not on his game is spending quite a bit of time keeping an eye on Tobin, trying to see how he's reacting to the situation, how he feels, and is also he's taken back in time to other times he thinks of seeing authority being so like obvious and severe and final in its judgment, and he's trying to engage, he's trying to do his thing, but he's distracted.
I mean, Tobin is sort of wide-eyed at this. You know, this is like taking the country bumpkin and putting him, slap bang in the middle of London. You know, it's a rude awakening in terms of seeing a hanging like that for one, seeing this many people in one space, seeing buildings of this grand sort of heightened nature. It's you can see that he's got this sort of look of being slightly overwhelmed by it. It's definitely a bombarding his senses. For you guys that have come from Waterdeep, obviously, you know, completely unfazed by it. But for him, you can see it in his face.
I'm gonna slowly walk over to the group of people that I saw that were talking quietly and looking angry. And I just say to them, horrible sight to see when getting to a new place. I hope this was deserved and not an abuse of power.
I'd like you to roll it's going to be persuasion.
Come on,
This is all about how you're coming across now to them.
you got this.
I was gonna follow that. I was gonna follow that with. I could do with a meal. Anyone know a good place to go? 25.
Ooh, there's my charisma boy.
We're in.
Who might you be?
I'm Thurin. Nothlear.
There's we don't really take to strangers around here.
It's wise. Yeah, I'm just looking for
Um,
somewhere to go get a drink and have a meal.
where have you come from?
What was the name of the island that we've just sailed from?
Driftwick.
Drift. Yeah, just said drift. Just sailed here from Driftwick.
You don't like you from Driftwick?
No.
Your eyes aren't crossed. What's going on?
Straight challenge.
No, I'm not from Driftwick. That's where I've just come from. I'm actually from the mainland. Before I was at Driftwick, I was at Waterdeep.
Mainland. You passing through. You're here for work. Or
Looking
you
for.
see that this fella looks. He's got like a bit of like a scraggly beard, like it's just a bit patchy, just looks like he's just sort of unkept. His hair's slick where the reins on his head, and you can see that he's got bags under his eyes.
I'm looking for a lost friend. I'm new to the area. I don't know anyone. Don't know much about the place, to be honest.
Well, I know a few places to drink. If you're after work, I could maybe point you in the right direction.
Oh, that sounds like a conversation to have over a drink.
You buying?
Sure.
And he puts his hand out towards you. And he says, "I'm Magnus."
I reach out and shake his hand. Thorin. Nice to meet you, Magnus.
Well, I don't see the point in hanging around here. If you're buying, then let's go.
Brutal pun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking you like dead in the eye.
I'll lead the way.
So the people that he's talking to, he sort of leans in and whispers, and you see him shake their hands. However, you don't actually see the hands meet. Their bodies are quite close, and you sort of see a shake and a pat on the shoulder, and then he starts to head out. He looks over his shoulder. Come on, it's let's move away. And he starts to head in a southwesterly direction, so into the bottom left corner, and you can see that these buildings, as you're getting sort of close, you can sort of see that they're separated by this pillar, as they all are, and then you start to head out. The buildings within this area are various heights, so three stories to two, one, all up and down, but all very narrow. The walkways you're having to shuffle by people to get through. Cobbled stones, grounds uneven, sort of dipping and rising, and you see that there's sort of stray dogs in this area. There are lots of sort of hustle and bustle, people moving away, sort of dragged along with the crowd. And you're walking for, I'd say, what's that, sorry?
If I see Thorin engage that group and move off, I'm going to try and stealthily follow throwing in this other fellow just so.
Right. Sorry, I was under the impression that you were all going just Thorin then.
Oh no, that's fine. That's just for clarity. Then, if we're all there, then that's cool. We'll do that. Yeah.
What was your intention on that one for Thorin? Was it everyone going or just you?
I didn't have an intention, to be honest. But yeah, everyone's welcome to join.
It's just how he sees it, whether you're a group or whether you're single. You see it.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone there on his own, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He moved
He's
over
not
on his own, yeah, but you weren't far away from where you were as a group, and it wouldn't have been impossible, if you like, to see that you weren't moving from one group to another.
But we wouldn't
Yeah.
we wouldn't let him just walk off by himself anyway, so we would have been close by.
Yeah, I'd have introduced him, and so these are the guys I've been traveling with.
Yeah, I want about the introduction. He's seen and met you. He's seen that you're part of, and then he's heading away. So
Yeah.
that's just wanted to clarify on it. So yeah, so you're sort of being pulled along through the streets, and you're walking for a good over 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, as you're winding from one to another through these streets. Sort of, it all feels very back alley-ish, very narrow. Some passageways are barely enough for you to go down single, especially for Negan. And you eventually come to a bay windowed with sort of the lead crisscrosses in that window, light beyond it of candle, not too bright, because it's really sort of overcast. The rain is still coming down, and you see a sign above the door saying "Rum and Ruin," as in RUNE, not Rum and Ruin.
As we were walking through, Daryl, would I have seen any more like wanted pictures up of the same similar one that I took off the board?
Perception check.
That is 18.
18. You did, however, they have been defaced.
Okay.
And you can see that some have been sort of torn or smeared with a dirty hand or whatever, but none of the ones that you've seen in this area have been intact.
Okay.
Is there much in the way of like towns guards in this area? When was the last time we
No.
saw one?
The square.
The square.
As we make our way through, following this guy, Darrell, can I keep an eye out for any signs that I might see that are relevant or that like pique my interest as thieves' camp? And if there's any potential thieves' camp, specifically anything Zentarum related.
Okay, so perception check.
11.
No.
Okay.
No, not that you've seen. That's not to say that it wasn't there. You know it's difficult to spot,
Yeah.
and you're moving along with the crowd in poor weather.
Yeah.
So he leads you to the door of Rum and Ruin, and he pushes the door. You can see that this is actually quite a busy, quite a busy space. There are people standing around the walls where there's shelves and things like that. People are drinking, and then there's a lot of tables smoky. Very well, the room is filled with smoke pipes and whatnot. It's not round as the odd table. But he heads over to one of the tables, like towards the back, where it's quite dark and he points for you for everyone to sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Once you have sit down, he's the last one to sit, so he sits down.
How many of them are there? Sorry.
He said goodbye to the ones he was talking to. It's just
So it's
him.
just him.
Yes.
Do I notice any sort of weapons on him?
Perception check.
16.
I'd say no. But he carries himself like it's probably a yes.
Yeah.
Nothing overt like a sword.
Nothing on show.
Not yet, but you wouldn't be surprised if there was something concealed.
Guns for a pro.
Daggers or something.
Potentially, yeah, something along that line, or yeah.
Did we already get his name? Sorry.
Yeah, it was Magnus.
Yeah.
Of course it was. I've written it down. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna tell Thorin not to play chess against him.
So I say to him, what's good to drink in here? What do you recommend?
There's a Stormfire mead and Crown Holm Gold in here. This is not too bad a place to drink. As you can see, it's quite popular. But before we get down to drinks and the brass tacks, I need to make sure that who I'm talking to is being genuine. Now, if you're one of them, you're well out of your depth in this place.
Well, you have me at a loss because I don't know who one of them is. I can't be more genuine than that.
You've just been in a town square where people have been hung. I mean one of them. As in one of the guards.
I can promise you I'm
Because
not
I
one
don't
of the
wanna-
guards.
I don't roll a persuasion check.
That's what one of the guards would say, though.
roll with disadvantage because Negan's not helping at all.
You don't carry a name like Nothlear. Become a guard. That's 23.
To be honest, what convinces me more is him, and he points to Morphos, and him, and he points to Negan. You're very much in the
Human form, I'd say, yeah.
the shroud, and
Yeah.
I was going to say, is
You don't-
Tavis not got his thing on, or is he Tavis at the minute?
No, Tavis looks like a very presentable human.
He's got his
Yeah,
crown
that's
on.
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just couldn't. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, we're not your everyday folk.
so, and he looks across at the bar, and he just puts fingers up for the beers, and it's not long before the beers come over. They're sort of tall and almost slender jugs of made of wood, and you see that that's what everyone is sort of drinking out of. They're not your sort of stout pint types. They're all quite tall, and the barkeep places them in and around. So you're after work.
Well, work keeps us fed.
Does it all?
Gets us into trouble sometimes too, but don't mind that so much.
What really brings you here?
Like I said, I'm looking for our friend Isla.
Well, you think he's in the city?
We don't know where he is.
Well, I mean, finding someone in this city's a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, for all I know, he's not even in this city. It's just the
I'm even more confused.
first place that we came to. Got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I'd
I
chip
suppose.
in. We're also interested in history. The reason
History.
we are looking for our friend Cohen is, as always, earnest and forthright. But he was from around here, so we're trying to maybe put some pieces of a puzzle together and learn a bit about what happened here and where he came from to understand where he might have ended up, I suppose.
He was from Driftmark.
Yeah, he was cross-eyed as well.
Oh,
Actually not. I think he was the exception to the rule on Driftmark as it goes.
had this weird thing about lemons though, didn't he?
Driftwick.
So he sort of
Carry on.
sits back and he sort of takes a deep swig of his ale, which tastes all the sweeter now it's being paid for by someone else, and he places it down, and you sort of see that he drops a sort of edge a little bit. There's a slight relaxing. What do you want to know?
Well, maybe for the sake of our safety, maybe let us know who those people were. Who was the man that made the speech and the strange fellow behind him?
You definitely new around here, then, aren't you?
Told you I've been as honest as I
Okay.
can.
He is the custodian of the port, or should I say, the new custodian of the port. That's House Stormvik. The Isle is controlled, run in the north by House Stormvik. Their reach continues to the Southern Isle, where you now sit, in the southern port, where we are now. However, for a long time, we've never wanted to be House Stormvik. We've never aligned ourselves with House Stormvik. We've always seen ourselves as being independent, in charge of our own town. Yes, they govern, but for us, it's unjust. They belong in the north, not down here. And yet they feel that their authority should stretch that far and that they're entitled to what this port can deliver. So there has been some civil unrest, and from that, they've decided to send their heaviest hand.
What was his name?
His name is Halavar Vane Stormvik.
So he's one of the actual. He's like from that bloodline, from that family.
Yeah. He's their oldest and highest military command.
That's the old dude or the dude with the wolf?
So he's referring to the guy that was in armor that gave the speech, which is what
Yeah.
Thorin asked.
Yeah.
Who had the wolf?
Who had the
didn't he?
wolf?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah. Not the old fellow. Okay.
And his
I mean, he's old. He's he's sort of well into well into his sort of 60s, maybe edging towards like the 70. But he's well built and stern.
Yeah. But he's not the one with the dead eye.
No,
Yeah,
he's not
that's a
referring to
separate-
him. That the question was about the
Yes,
the,
yes,
wo-
yes.
the guy with the wolf.
and what's his wolf called? Oh dear.
He sort of looks around now like, we're talking about pets. I don't
So
know. I don't want to go anywhere near him.
So
I didn't know if the fact I didn't know whether the wolf was something they used on people and something that was infamous.
Did you take a good look at the bodies that were hanging?
So I took a brief look.
Yeah, I took a good look. Now, the people that I've spoke to, some of those that were hung today have been missing for nearly close to 2 weeks. They've been arrested, taken. Now, I noticed a few things. None of them had any fingernails. I noticed that. I noticed blood stained on their clothing. I don't think they've had a pleasant couple of weeks. But I wouldn't be surprised if that wolf wasn't part of it, involved in it.
So if they were tortured, what do you think the information you were trying to get from him was?
They believe that there is a resistance growing within the city. They believe that there is a rebel force, a force to drive independence, drive House Stormvik out, secure the port for its own. The previous custodian was sent packing. Or did he run in fear? I never know. But not long after he left, then a greater force arrived. They've been going door to door. They've been pulling people off the streets. It's been interrogation. There's rumors of torture. Anything to find out about the resistance.
That kind of behavior almost creates the resistance.
Well said.
Who
So,
was who was
we
the
know that
after you?
down here in this area, which we call the Black Salt District, we are safe in numbers. The raids have been less frequent in this area than others.
At this point, having heard this, if I can, I'm going to excuse myself just for as if I was going to go to the bathroom or whatever. And I'm going to try and sneak back to the town square. In one of the alleys in between times, I'll make Saw appear. And I'll give you a quick overview and you can run it how you want to run it. Tavis is going to try and make his way back to the square and using Saw, have Saw kind of get close enough where he's inconspicuous, hopefully, to the galley, to the hanging, the noose, and all that. And then have Saw go really close in and use his perception to try and like have a look and kind of see if he picks up anything about what this guy's like. Just double check the things that this guy is saying and kind of double down and kind of get his own first-hand evidence of what's happening here.
Checking the condition of the prisoners.
Condition of the prisoners, whether they've got any insignia on them, any tattoos, just because it wouldn't be super weird to have a bird come kind of inspecting, pecking. If the bodies are still there, they might be gone by the time it gets to the square. I don't know, but Tavis is thinking I can probably skulk off and skulk back, and these guys will still be in the pub.
First of all, there'll be navigating your way back to that square because it was a maze that you that you followed.
Okay.
But what I will allow, if you're popping out Saw straight away, would be to use Saw as a means of sort of making your way back. You know that you're heading in a direction. It's a case of weaving it out the building, continuing it in that vein. So just make just make a survival check for not really survival, but it's just a case of getting your bearings.
15.
Yeah. So fairly straightforward for you. Not that you remember every gone down. You think that you may have gone down one and not, a different one than one you came down, but all essentially following that direction. You make your way into the through the gap past the pillars, and just sort of leaning over onto the wall with your hood up, giving yourself an anchor in your body whilst your vision moves over to Saw. Saw glides over the square, and you can see that the different perspective now. You can see that above the back of the skull that you came through, the sea beyond,
Yeah.
to the streets over towards the east. You can see that the buildings are a lot sort of bigger. The streets are wider. They look like sort of almost like a warehouse, sort of a series of warehouses in that direction to the east from where you are. As he continues to climb up, you can see that he passes by this ornate building with pillars and a dome, and it's has a similar sort of colour to the pillars that you've passed. Not identical, but that sort of creamy, mottled brown sort of texture to it. And then he comes round and swoops down to land on the gallows or continue flying.
Yeah, have a land. Yeah, not too weird that, I don't think.
What is it that you're looking for?
And anything that I'm looking for, specifically what the guy has told us, specifically what he's told us about the torture, potentially, the fingernails missing, the blood, the condition of the bodies. And then there's a secondary thing in Tavis's mind about, is there Centaurian tattoo or anything Thieves' Cant related that he's going to spot based on his past?
Yeah. Yeah, you saw sort of picking his way along the top of the gallows. As you're looking at each body, clocking the hands, you can see that the nails have all been removed. You can see that round their mouths are and eyes are heavy bruised, swollen sort of features on their face. You can see that the clothes have been sort of torn and are bloody. And they look in a dirty condition, like the hair and the skin. They look like they're just filthy.
Yeah.
And all now I've got this ashen sort of grey colour to the skin. The head's lolled to one side. And it isn't long before other birds are sort of gathering around where Saw is, sort of waiting for the potential feast that's gonna await them. There's no guards. You see guards in the square dotted around, but there's no guards in your immediate vicinity. Looks like no one's in a rush to bring these bodies down.
Yeah, nasty. Okay. And look, the robes wise, they're covered, like our arms and everything's covered, so there's no skin visible for tattoos or anything like that now.
For tattoos, no. I mean, sorry, yes, I would say there was tattoos, but nothing that you would recognise as
Okay.
Zentarim.
Okay.
And for what you know, you would even question whether the Zentarim reached this far.
Okay, cool. Franchise opportunity. I'm hearing you.
So
Okay, yeah, I think with that, he just wanted to like get a closer inspection, first-hand knowledge. I don't know how relevant it'll be, Daryl, now or later, but obviously I've been that close, so I could have probably a decent description of each of the 6 bodies. I don't necessarily need it now, but just out of interest. For maybe later. At least I've been up close and personal, so I've had time to take a good look at each of them to maybe have an idea. So that's not something we need to cover now, and Tavis will make his way back after that, I think.
yeah, like I said, there's one woman who would be of sort of middle aged, a man of a similar age, a younger man, and 2 teenage boys. Maybe
Yeah.
one slightly older and taller than the other.
Cool. Yeah. So while Tavis is doing that and whatever else was happening back in the Roman ruined.
So who was the creepy guy with the fucked up eye?
Oh. Well. It's quite a secretive matter. He is the head of a religious order known as the Tide Callers. They arrived, say, a few years ago. Their religious beliefs started to take hold this far south. They kind of persuaded others to go, if that makes sense. It's a bit of a strange time. He's their high priest. When he took over as a custodian, there was talk that there was a gathering between them and the Tide Callers, and his services were offered up. Wherever he goes, you sort of see him as an aide or an advisory. I don't know much more than that. And to be honest, the whole lot of them creep me out, so I wouldn't go anywhere near it. All their temples and all of well, whatever they're up to is all in the north east of the city. That's in a district called Whetstone. Can I ask you a question? I assume you got here by ship. Six, seven.
I think you're muted.
Yeah, it was more of a skiff, if I'm being honest. Wasn't much. No armaments.
And how much scrutiny did your ship take when you came into dock?
Fair amount.
They search it.
No.
No, seems irregular. They search every ship.
Yeah, they weren't very happy about us landing.
You see that he reaches into under his cloak, and as he pulls out and he covers his hand, but he just lets you know that you can just see this like band of metal just going across his hand, and he just keeps the hand covered. Every ship, every boat, every rowing boat gets searched.
It's not a regular
Why is
ship
yours?
that we have.
I'm listening.
Well,
They probably would have searched it had they had the opportunity, but we made sure that wasn't possible.
Are we going to talk in riddles? Or what's going on? You just sort of see that there is this metal line now with this like knuckle duster that's going across his hand, and he just covers it back over. I'm starting to worry that I've brought you to the wrong place.
no, our ship is like I said, it's not really a ship. It's a magical item that we bought. It folds away into a small box. But when it's folded away, whatever's inside becomes outside. So it's an A to B option for us. That's it.
That could be useful. We the work I'm on about is well, it's moving goods. It pays.
Has he still got his knuckle dusters out at this point?
Just got one on his hand, but he's got his hand tucked in underneath his jacket.
Okay. I'm just going to be, now, because I've seen him do that, I'm just going to be sort of staring at him while I'm listening to what Thurin's saying.
I mean, it's not what we've came here for.
So what did you come here for?
Like I said, we're looking for our friend.
Then go and look for him.
What kind of stuff do you need moving?
Crates.
Great. And how many?
Well, the chances are we'll start small, and on success,
Hello, boys.
You alright, Paul?
That's right.
Hola.
did it?
How we doing?
All right, we're in the middle of a tense negotiation.
Oh, apologies.
No, it's okay, right?
Just look threatening, Morthos.
If I could get my camera to work, I would absolutely do that.
He's doing a right mean face right about now.
Yeah, you guys crack on while I deal with my tech issues.
So, how are you aiming to find your friend?
Don't know, we're still trying to figure that out.
Perhaps we can help each other. We don't know what we're looking for. You have something that you need help with. It seems, at least to me, I'm not sure what my esteemed colleagues think, but if you can help us sort of get a bit of a lead of where we should be headed, then we can probably help each other out.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know where to start to look for your friend. I've never met him, or
We
there must have been something that brought you here.
well, his last known location was at the Druid Circle. So we thought we'd come here and try and learn a bit more about them.
You've come to learn about druids.
What was the Circle of Stone called?
Thing is, there are more. There's loads of them out there. There's like I think 7.
Yeah, what were they called?
Storm marked.
Yeah. So I'd tell him about the area that was storm marked on Driftmark, and we've come to town to try and find out more information about these areas. We don't know anything about them.
And that's when Tobin, who's sitting next to you, Kaylin, he just sort of like tugs on your sleeve. He's like, "What's that?"
I missed what you said.
I'm getting loads of interference.
He tugs on your sleeve, and he sort of says under his breath, "Library."
So yeah, I'll sort of mention to our chap that we're looking for this library. Have you got any? Are you familiar with that? Could you point us in that direction?
Yes and no. The big ornate building in the town square. Well, I guess you really aren't from around here. The square with the gallows. That's called the Rib Market. At the back of the Rib Market, a big building with a dome on it. That's known as the Ivory Locker. That's the library. That's where the law keepers are stationed.
And the law keepers would be the same people who have hanged
No,
those in the square.
no. The law keepers just look after the Ivory Locker. They just it's the oldest and largest library in the Southern Isle. They just look after that. But you just can't walk in. You can't just get an appointment and walk in there. It's called a locker for a reason. I mean, they hold on to the text in there like it's sacred.
So if one were looking for a way to access the information within there, do you have any suggestions of how they might go about that?
Might have. But let's work on the premise that you're going to do a job first.
Okay, let's hear the details of what you need.
Well, there's a ship. It's going to moor at anchor out to sea. Not too far, but out to sea. On it, there's going to be 2 crates that are going to need to be picked up and brought back without detection.
And presumably there's a reason that makes this a little more complicated than it sounds on the surface.
Yeah, we don't want the guards to see it. You see,
Sorry, I lost that bit.
You broke up.
it looks like there's a twinkle in his eye when he says that.
Okay. I mean, we're pretty capable of moving things undetected. I assume that. I mean, is this going to be a heavily guarded thing?
Well, you just said you hadn't been searched. That's a plus. However, there are guards down on the dock.
Can I ask you
I'm
a
telling
question?
you that. Go on.
But what it appears to me is that you didn't trust us a second ago when you decided to pull out your little finger holes there, and now you're asking us to do a job for you. So you trust us enough to go and get these crates, but not to know that we're not from here and we're looking for someone.
Well, let's just say trust is earned.
Works both ways, and when I feel you're trying to threaten one of the people that I'm sat with, it makes me feel like, can we trust you? What's in the crates?
There are 7 of you.
Only needs one of me. They can all watch.
I can well imagine. And he takes it off and he puts it back into his pocket. Now, it would only give me a fighting chance of getting away. That's for my own self-preservation. If you feel that I was going to take all 7 with that's in my pocket, then you must have me down as a fool or mad. I can assure you
No.
neither.
I just don't like anyone making threats towards people that I'm sat with.
Wasn't a threat. I've got to protect myself. You could be guards.
So,
You said it
I don't
yourself.
think you.
Me and Morthos here, we can't be guards.
I don't think you realise the lengths that they will go to. That how far they will go to root out people within this town. These people, I would like to help. However, what I'm after is someone that can bring something into this city undetected. Either you can, or going to try, or you're not. You wanted to get into a library. I might be able to help with that.
when's this ship coming?
It'll be in tonight.
And how do we identify it?
I can give you the details.
Darryl, you just let me know if Tavis would return at any point. I'm not sure he would,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, it would have been like 20 minutes. So I think
Yeah.
between. Paul, did you manage to catch up on any of the videos?
Yeah. What,
On the last
what
session.
both of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just give you a quick overview. So, the guys have obviously witnessed the hanging in the town square. They've found some pieces of information. One was a wanted letter for any information around the Sons of Hakon. And it's offering 1,000 gold for any information at all. A lot of people were reluctant to say anything to the group, but one man has accepted to speak to him and has also taken them to a district in the southwest called the Black Salt District, which is all quite narrow, cobbled, this sort of tight knit district, to a tavern called Rum and Rune. Where there's negotiations now over are these guys informers or spies for the ruling house, which is House Stormvic, who the guy who gave the speech in the order to hang him is a part of, and whether or not there's any use, whilst also the party trying to find out if they can gain more information through the library, or if he knows anything pertaining to missing person, Isla, whatever.
Nice. How do you spell Hakon? Hakon, right? Sons of Hakon.
It's Hakon.
Okay, it's totally different to how I spell it.
And Thalion actually has heard the name before, in a song, like a sea shanty, something that's been sort of a tragic song, which also involves the name, called Invar.
I think we'll be able to do this for you. Where do we need to bring these crates?
Well, and that's the hard part, because they need to come in through the main entrance, the skull.
Just tell me where they need to be.
There's a building not far from here that I can show you,
Okay.
and it needs to be dropped off there. We can't get anyone to do it because it is watched, and the area and the boats are searched. If you want the job and you succeed in the job, then I'll help you out.
And
How big, how big are the items in the crates? Is it the whole crate you need, or just what's in it?
The specifics of the crate, I'm unsure.
so if
You
we
care a lot about these crates, considering you don't know what's actually in these crates.
I know that the crates are going to a just cause.
How big are the crates?
Fair size wooden crate. 2 men to lift.
Would
Can you can you just hold for 1 sec, because Teddy wants to face Sammy, so just hold off for 1 second while I go and speak to him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So what we thinking? Bag of holding, or the
portable hole.
portable hole?
Portable
Put the
hole.
crates in the portable hole. Get back. Do the same thing as we did last time.
Don't even
Fold the boat away.
necessarily
Travis-
need to go to the port, but
Travis isn't there, but he will tell you that the portable hole is full-ish of 20 battle axes, 20 shields, and 20 sets of dwarven scale mail armor.
You can get rid of some of that, surely.
So if we could, that's why I'm asking Daryl where, like, at what point will Thomas arrive back? He's like, oh, okay, you're a kind of black market dude. Fancy buying 20 sets of dwarven scale mail armor?
Well,
Yeah, because the portable hold. I mean, I think it still has a lot more. Oh, it's also got a couple of wooden animated donkeys in it as well.
Forgot about that.
I would imagine the tavern has got somewhere if we needed to just drop stuff off because we'd be coming back there.
Oh, can I just store 20 suits of dwarven
They'll
armor
have a
in your
storeroom or something,
in
won't
your
they? Or like
tavern?
Yeah,
a basement.
we could rent a room in the tavern and just leave all the shit in there.
I wouldn't leave anything anywhere in this district. You would get back and none of it would be there.
We could leave somebody with it. There's enough of us. Like, yeah. But yeah,
Just-
that's a slight consideration. Do we also have what's in the bag of holding and how big is that? I can't remember. I don't know what
The bag of
space is
holding doesn't have much
bag
in
of
it.
holding.
Nothing. It doesn't have much anything big in it. We could chuck all the battle axes and the swords in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do a little swap.
Yeah.
The portable hole is potentially huge. It's 10 foot deep and 6 foot diameter.
Yeah, well,
Like,
you
I
said
just-
we would have thought we'd get 2 crates in there anyway.
Yeah.
in the bag of holding.
No, in the portable hole.
Definitely in the portable hole. The problem is it's full of all that shit that I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we just stick it on top.
The donkeys are quite big. Like, they're big enough for me to ride on. I think we've got 2 of them.
The only
Yeah.
problem is that
Maybe we leave the donkeys in a room.
Yeah, we need to know. Surely we need to know what is in the crates. I know he doesn't know, but are we gonna have a little?
Oh, we can have a little. I can do a little thieves' tools shimmy shimmy. Let's see.
Have a
At
look.
the moment, I'm not even in the room, so I'll have to wait and see.
I mean, I'm up for not knowing, to be honest.
You don't want to know what's in these 2 crates.
Oh, I definitely want to know, but I'd rather
I
not
think what we need
not
to
knowing
is
and
what are the
get what we need.
what's this guy's operation? Is he actually part of these? Is he part of the Sons of
I think he definitely is.
Haken? But is he
Excellent.
willing to tell us that? 'Cause that might change things.
Not until we've done this job.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a big setup, and then we don't end up on the fucking
Gallows.
shopping. Yeah. Turn up for the books.
Yeah, I don't reckon he's a Crown's Guard or something like that. With the place that he's brought us to, like all those posters being defaced on the way here.
Yeah, we could do that though as well. What Morthos said, if we rent a room, but Tobin could stay there.
Yeah, we do need to be careful about Tobin, don't we?
Yeah, we don't want to take him on this journey and then something happen because.
Oh look, another dead
He's
hog.
already been stabbed.
Yeah, we could get back and he's been taken.
He died in the last thing, Paul. Not died. He got unconscious by the Hydra.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, I was listening to that earlier. In the last session, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Had to
I was
bring
listening.
it back
I was
with a healing potion.
pretending to work from home earlier, and I just had it on. I enjoyed it.
Well done.
Got your
Gutted I didn't
priorities
get to
right.
go on the, yeah, well, gutted I didn't get to go on the ship though.
Oh, don't worry. I think we'll be back on it, mate.
Yeah, but will everyone be turning into animals? No.
There'll be beasties here.
I'd consider turning into a giant squid to move the crates.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
I was thinking of transforming into a ship.
If we move them on the boat, I can cast Silent Image, so it looks like they don't look like the crates. They look like something else.
Yeah, but then we still need to get them from the shoreline to there. There'll be guards and stuff. Our best chance of success is the portable hole.
I'm more worried about fucking rowing the boat there and getting it back.
What else is in the harbour?
Yeah, more sort of.
I don't like these Stormvic cunts anyway. We can get rid of them. This is not these Vic people. This is not Black Harbour Vic. This is just Black Harbour. Viva la revolution. But yeah. What else do we need to do? Try and find Isla.
Do you want to
Alive. Job number 1.
He clearly doesn't know anything about him, though, does he?
No.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think I don't think many people will.
No, on that little island that he was from, there was the one guy, wasn't he, the barkeep, and he was like, he remembered.
Yeah. He's probably the only person we're going to come across that knows who he is.
Well, then we're fucked.
Do we need to start pulling on other threads? Like, what was the reason? What's happened to us? Why are we here?
Yeah, how do these circles work? So we need to get to the library.
Yeah.
Do you think we should stay in this area or ask him for somewhere I suppose less inconspicuous?
More reputable?
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
standard
this sounds
place
like the area though that is the safest in that the guards aren't coming in as much, are they?
Yeah.
No, but this is where, yeah, but we're not dodgy people yet. We haven't done anything dodgy yet, so we can go and stay in a nice, reputable place and know to come here for work. And then go back there and be like, no, we're just tourists. We've just arrived. We're looking for our friend.
Yeah, but the other side of that being that the guards are gonna be around and questioning who are these new people, aren't they? If the guards aren't here.
Yeah, but we managed to get ashore and witness the hanging without any too much stuff. So
Yeah, I think we find somewhere around here to stay.
Hello.
Alright.
yo,
Hi.
Sorry about that. I think the boy's feeling it tonight, like not being here. So.
oh no worries, mate.
Right. Where are we at?
Well, I think
Conversation's dead.
Discussions with
Have fish fingers tomorrow.
your man.
Yeah,
What was
these
his name?
Magnus.
Magnus.
The one you written down.
Yeah, so
Unforgettable.
Back and check.
maybe get some grub before we I don't know, we can always come back here for grub. Maybe you show us where we've got to drop these crates off. Go from there.
Yeah. You can get food now if you want.
We can come back and get food while we wait for nightfall.
What time are we thinking it is now?
It's probably by the time you're like moored up and got more sort yourself out. So you're sort of cracking on for noon, so like 1 o'clock ish, I reckon.
So we're doing this tonight, aren't we? So we've got time if you want to fuel up now and then scope the place out before we actually engage in the operation. I will order some food.
Yeah, alright, we'll grab some grub and then we'll just continue trying to make small talk and pleasant conversation. And then once we're done, I think we'd get him to show us where we need to deliver these 2 crates to.
There's he again sort of waves at the bar and there's a short wait before these sort of 2 large like skillets with like sausage and chopped onions and stuff like that. But potato comes out and bread that you all manage to get some food. And when the drinks are finished, he takes you outside and back into this maze. Not as bustling as it was, but you leave the Rum and Rune and you head further southeast. This is taking you along to a building that's by the seawall, the wall that was broken in parts. You can see that this building has a wide set of it has a wide door, but it's quite a squat building. But what he points to is a metal grate in the cobbles itself. And as you sort of look over, you can see that there's a set of stone steps that descend into darkness into a basement. And he says, if you can get beyond the wall, follow the wall west, you should be able to find this place. If the goods are there by dawn, then we could be in for a very accommodating and prosperous relationship. And I can try and get you access to the ivory locker.
Okay.
And the Rum and Rune, is that a safe place for us to stay? Or do you recommend somewhere else?
No. There's a tavern to the north of here, which is in it's in a district called Invar's End.
District called what? Sorry.
Pub there. Invar's End.
Invar's End.
Yeah. It's probably a little bit more upmarket than what you can see around here. There's a tavern called the Queen's Head. It's it might be a good idea to not be seen too much around here.
Noted. And if we were looking for somewhere for supplies store, any recommendations?
What was it you'd be after?
Just
What type?
general supplies, maybe some potions of healing, weapons.
There's a shop. It's actually located between this district and Invar's. It's called Tide and Tallow. you should get good prices. Although all prices in the city are all governed by they're all governed by the shale syndicate. But you should be all right.
What do you mean we should be all right?
I mean, you should be all right with the prices.
That was a correct
It's a bit the shale syndicate that they govern the prices, they govern the taxes, they govern how much things can be bought or sold. All of the guilds, from fishing guild, sailors guild, anything, shipwrights, any guilds within this town, from making ale, craft, selling wares, food. All the prices get set by the shale syndicate.
So what do we need to know about this ship?
The ship. The ship is called Frost Morning, as in morning a loved one. It will be located a few leagues south. If you've got a hooded lantern, if you haven't got a hooded lantern, I suggest you get one. But if you give it 3 blinks, and wait for 3 blinks, and then approach, there's nothing more complicated than that. I'll write you a slip. They'll give you 2 crates. You bring them back. You stash them in the store under the cover of darkness, and leave back up to the into Invars district, and that's all done without a trace. Then we could be in for a very prosperous relationship.
How excited does he seem by this prospect?
He seems very flat the whole way through.
Yeah.
Roll an insight check.
11, I think.
11.
Yeah.
Although you have trust of him, you realise that you're putting a lot more skin in the game than he is. He doesn't know you, and if he never seen you again, would it matter? However,
No, but he's also give us quite a lot of
opportunity
information.
getting what he wants.
Things, Daryl, would Travis be back by this time, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, back with the group. And
I'd have
on
said
the
you'd
way-
been back, and I said you'd been back, and then
The
you'd
whole
have
of
been
that chat.
on the walk
Yeah.
as well, yeah, because they ordered food and all that at that time. So
Is there any chance in the market I could have picked up a bag of lemons?
the rib market, I would say, would have had stalls there. Yeah, I would have said you would have had to have, well, roll percentile dice for me.
Percentile. 51.
I'd say no.
Okay, cool.
Let me have a rethink here. 1 second. it's a port, isn't it? So there probably would be a higher likelihood of lemons due to the nature of sailing. So yeah, I'd say yeah. I'll go with that. I'll say yeah. You managed to get some lemons.
Okay.
I had the
I was just
percentage.
thinking.
I had the percentage lower, but thinking about it, I think it'd be citrus would be something that they would be trying to keep in abundance.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I'll take that and mark off something. Gold. One gold.
Yeah, it's just
Expensive
bits
lemons.
of it's bits of coppers really. Nothing substantial.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just want. I did want to do that RP wise, and then be back in the room for a conversation about all of this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think. Yeah, we'll curry favor, and you can help us out in return. It sounds good. Just before we do, what should we be aware of? What are the likely problems we're going to run into? What's the obviously we're going to try and avoid the guards and all the rest of it, but is there anything in particular on this boat? These people who we're engaging with, what's their interest in this? What are they going to think about people they don't know turning up doing this transaction? Or is that are you going to cover that in advance?
Well, what I know, they've already been paid, but they're still bearing a risk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So they should be fairly happy to be rid of the hot product and. Okay. And in general, anything that's going to pose as a problem in the harbour, or is the harbour pretty safe?
Guards,
So
the guards,
this is
there'll be watchers from the wall.
yeah, got you. So this is about
Is there
well,
anywhere other than the harbour that we can gain access to the sea?
So what you know when you came in is literally like it's sort of like this is like the flat opening in what is hills.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of comes down and this town is sort of nestled in that almost like a valley, if you like.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, normally you would put to sea in a dock. I don't know how your boat works. You would maybe have to trek for a few miles outside of town to maybe find
yeah,
somewhere where you can get down to sea.
take a long ass time.
Yeah, and even then we have to come back through the gate, which will probably be locked at night.
No, no. The gate itself is that skull. It's just open.
I meant
You walk through the mouth.
the gate that leads to the countryside.
Okay, so there is a north gate called the Iron Gate in the north of the town, but that's where the barracks are.
And that is that locked at night?
It's patrolled by guards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you give us that note, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, and he muscles round. He pulls out a slip which has already been written on, and he passes it to over to you, Thorin, as you're the one doing the talking. How close is Tavis?
Yeah, or like within the conversation, like not. He's still posing as
You can roll.
this Yeah, go on.
You can roll a perception check to see if you can see the note as it's been handed over.
Ooh, 22. I thought it was an 8,
Yeah.
but it was an 18.
You see what's written on the slip as 2 crates and small box. From what you can see on there, sort of like square symbols, like someone's like put a square together, almost like binary. It's like a square, but it's like 3 squares together. And the next one would be like almost like Tetris in terms of what it looks like. Tavish, you immediately see that as these count.
Oh, got ya. So it's not just 2 crates, there's also a small box. Okay, I'll store that away for now until we make part. Cool.
Okay, this is where we part ways.
Yeah. And he looks at you and says, "Good luck." And you know where to find me tomorrow. And with that, he just gives you a nod. Rain's still coming down, and he heads back. He's heading roughly in the direction of the rum room.
Let's head up to the other district where the Invar's End.
You can, as you're starting to walk that way, you're just keeping a bearing. There's no like straight roads. You're literally walking out of a road, there, seeing the next one, and moving down it, and sort of keeping on that path. You can see that there's a lot of like shops this way that are selling food. There's like pastries and stuff like that, but it's all very, like I said, very cramped. Once you get to a point where the gaps in the building start to increase, the buildings get a little bit taller, whitewashed. You can see that there are signs outside of these buildings that are more cared for, ornate. Use of like colors like gold on the signage and stuff like that. The clothes that people are wearing is very different as well. People look a bit more presentable in this area. You start to find these sort of broader streets, more sort of open streets, and yeah, you don't know where this tavern is. You assume that you're in Invar's End.
Can I while we're making our way there, can I keep an eye out and see if anybody's tracking us, following us?
Yeah, roll perception check.
That's 11.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. There's just a lot of people moving around.
Okay.
Easier now you're in this open space, but for where you would have been in those narrow streets, really difficult.
I reckon we should go find the Queen's Head, get ourselves a room secured, and from there maybe find out some more information about the town and go get some supplies.
Yeah, he said to get the lamp for the boat as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hooded lantern.
So we need to try and pick up one of them.
Sounds like
So we're going to
that's
get a
quite
room
key.
and take some stuff out of the at the portable hole.
Yeah, sorry, what did you say about the Queen's Head? That was somewhere.
Queen's Head's the
That's the tavern,
tavern
right?
in the in Vaz End district.
I thought that was where, like, we shouldn't go.
I think that wasn't.
No, he said that was like a more reputable place.
Yeah, yeah. Or at
Yeah,
market,
so
I
it
think
might
you
be
said.
like more guards and stuff like that. Or is that just my read on it?
He told us to not be seen hanging around in the Black Salt
Oh, okay.
area.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And the
Yeah,
shop
try and get
was called
situated down
Tide
in
and Tallow, wasn't it?
Tide and Tallow, yeah. So let's try and get situated then, I suppose, and then I don't think I have a hooded lantern.
Like a bit of a niche item.
Yeah, I think we can just go
I mean,
get one.
yeah.
Let's go get let's go find this Queen's Head first and get our base figured out. Maybe speak to the barman or barmaid there and see what they think about what's going on in the town.
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, I stopped someone that were passing, somebody that looks relatively friendly, and just asked them to point us in the direction of the Queen's Head.
Yeah, and the way that she points down this road, she's sort of taking you more easterly, sort of going off like a northeast sort of angle, and it comes to like a small, like sort of square, not square, but sort of open, like just like an area where like people can sit. Yes, like a square basically.
A common.
And you can
Yeah.
you common, yeah, and you can see that there's a quite a large building, and you see the signage, the Queen's Head, and then you also see what looks like a sorrowful woman on a sign that's hanging. Um, but this is really quite a large building. Like I said, a lot of people in this area are more well presented,
Mhm.
finer clothes. Um, Heading inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see
Travis
that
is going to hang back from the group and wait and not enter as part of the group.
you can see that the as you sort of walk in, there's it looks more like an eatery. This place, it looks more like a restaurant than it does a tavern itself. A lot more sort of finer in its appearance. I wouldn't say it was like the most poshest thing in the world, but it's definitely a step up from where you've been and from most taverns that you've been in. You make your way to the bar, where you see that there is there's an elven gentleman, who's he's got sort of close cropped hair, and he's got it sort of like pushed back over the top, and he's wearing quite fine clothes, well presented. Uh, Good afternoon. Welcome to the Queen's Head. Or may I be of service?
Hi, we're looking for drinks in a room. Well, 2 rooms.
And with that, he quickly busies himself. Where's the? I'll work out the gold cost for that later. But he says, oh, actually, in well, the yeah, so it'd be 2 gold per night for each room, and he passes you these long iron keys with a like a keyring on it with a number on it. He passes them over. And will you be eating today?
Probably later on. Not for now.
Yeah, he says there's a stairway to the back, and that'll take you up to the room. Heading up that way, you can see that the rooms are quite open, like tall ceilings, and definitely a fine building that you're in. That you managed to drop your packs off.
Okay. How you doing, Tobin?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I can't believe that we've only been here and we've already got a job. I mean, why take the risk? Why not just walk up to the library and just see if we can find something about the storms? I don't.
Well, tend to find ourselves in trouble most of the time. It's probably a good point. What's life without a bit of risk?
Yeah, but who's? I mean, there's so much going on. He's already told you there's a. Well, we don't even know who he is. Did he? Is he working for them? The ones with the sign? Is he trying to catch them out? Was that a double bluff? I mean, you guys seem pretty trusting. He stabbed me when he first seen me.
I'm outside.
He stabbed me when he seen me.
Yeah, we're a pretty sporadic group, I guess.
Well, those waters are patrolled, so we've got to be careful. And how the hell are we going to get crates in past the guards? I mean, did he just give us an impossible ask? Another question, right? Well, who was doing this job originally? So that boat was just going to be there. He had no one to go and get those crates. I mean, I don't want to tread on anyone's toes. You know more than I do, but
I don't think we do.
I would imagine that those people hanging were the people that were probably supposed to be the ones going to get those crates.
yeah, maybe. I mean, look, I'm all in on an adventure. Yeah, I'm all in on an adventure. But I mean, what then? So he's going to get us access to the what do you call it? The Ivory Lock.
Ivory Locker, yeah. I mean, did you like what you saw when we landed here today? Do you think that's how things should be done around here?
Oh, let me ask you a question. Do you want to have your fingernails pulled out and be hung?
Well,
I think anyone wants that.
I'd like to see him try.
I wouldn't.
Thorin already is hung.
Negan.
Die bad.
We can hold our own. I'm not too worried about being captured by these people.
Well, I personally am worried about being captured by these people. But I'm in for the adventure. So how do you plan on getting whatever we've got past the wall?
Well, you have to
They're
wait.
actually lugging crates now.
Oh, you'll have to wait and see. Let's call it a surprise. We got some tricks up our sleeve. You've seen some of them.
Okay. So where to now?
Well, what do you guys want to do?
Whilst you're mulling over your next steps, what's Harvest doing outside?
Yeah, so just I want to take, if I can, between me and also take like a perimeter of this place and see if I think there's how much presence there is of guards. If I see any of the similar insignia and stuff like that of anybody around it or going in and out of it, just take a minute to kind of check that.
There's a small presence, but one or two guards that are together and passing through. But like I said, this is very much a sort of more affluent area than the one that you were in. I
Yeah.
think that you get the feeling that with that comes an element of trust, or more trusting, or more relaxing. That these are not the droids you're looking for from the guards.
Yeah. Okay. I think you just take his time to observe that from the outside and then head in separately from the rest of the group and just keeping an eye out for anyone who seems just trying to get a gleam on anyone who seems to be just really comfortable in these plush surroundings. Anyone who's like seems to be almost like flaunting their money a little bit, and is basically what's happening is the old rogue instincts are kicking in. He's seeing this area as a place where power is in charge, and he's getting his roguey tinglings are tingling again. He's going to look for somebody who he might think is
Juices
a
going.
possible mark. Yeah, to try and do a bit of light fingered thingy and stealth up to somebody maybe and try and have a little pick of a pocket.
Light fingered thingy.
Yeah, you know. It's what
Fingering.
Travis does.
Dirty bastard.
Hey, I'm going to finger some patrons.
Rogue's gonna rogue.
Yeah, you can see that. There's lots of people that are milling around, and you feel that this is the easier hunting ground when it's like this, where you've got to follow someone and get in their step, and maneuver is more tricky. But when people are just walking by you, which in itself is a little bit weird now that you're wearing a circlet,
Yeah,
because
because they're not
you'd normally
even
be
wary
shielding.
of me. Normally people
Yeah,
are scared of me. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
you'd be shielding yourself, and there's also the fallback in the back of your mind that if push comes to shove, removing it removes that person from view altogether. And with that, sort of gives you a bit of a bit of a tingling in your stomach over you've got an even bigger edge than what you would have had. But with people just walking past, um, yeah, I'll say make a sleight of hand.
That is a 24.
Jesus. I rolled a 14. Um, yeah, easy done, and just lifting, and taking you back to when you were younger, learning the craft, cut purse was, you know, the the art of being on the street, being able to lift and remove without someone even knowing. Um, it's just it's like riding a bike, something that you just never lose, and feeling the weight, but not even caring about what the value is inside. As you place that into a pocket, it's the victory and the thrill of doing that as you're just watching, taking in the people, the scene, the smells, the view of the Queen's Head in front of you as you wait or carry out whatever else you're doing.
Yeah, and eventually I'd head inside to join the others, and that's just we haven't been in a situation that's like public, that's like people, that's like all of this stuff has been just for what feels like a long time because of the dungeon and because of Mad Mage and because of all the rest of it, like because of the Undermountain and where we were. It just like Tavis is just like kind of filling his lungs. That's part of his escape to normality, and he's just enjoying that. At some point later, he'll figure out what he got, and I think he's got half a mind to share it with, to just give something else again to Tobin because he feels like the this this kid's taking a huge risk on us. But I'll see what it is later and just do that. Figure out the outsides, figure out the guard situation, and then head in and join the party once he knows he's not implicated everybody in something.
Yeah. Just roll a D100.
D100. 86.
Okay. Roll 3d6.
11.
So it was 11 gold in the purse.
Nice. Yeah, he'll at some point later he'll we'll role play something. He'll probably give some of that to Tobin. But I'll do that as a thing.
Okay.
And yeah, it was about scouting the outside, scouting the guard, and then not. He knew he had the feeling. He knew he was going to do something, and he didn't want to. He wanted to make sure he wasn't going to implicate the rest of the group to enter afterwards.
Okay. Well, just roll me a. Just roll me a perception check.
Uh, 19.
19. Okay. So as you're looking at the building, you can see just off to the side, two men are walking, and one of them stops and puts his hand on the chest, and he sort of like leans in. His voice isn't just above a whisper because he seems agitated and angry, and as he holds the guy's chest, he's like, "Look, I understand what they want to achieve, but this is not the way of going about it." And the fella's like, just sort of hold his hands up, a little bit shocked in his face. And they sort of walk on, and you hear, I almost wish they'd catch this twice drowned. And this, we can all just go back to normal. And as they're carrying on walking, the voices fade.
Sorry, that was two guys, and the one guy put his hand on the other guy's chest, or they had
to
a
hold him,
chest that they were
to sort of
carrying.
stop him, to make a point. He put his hand on it like that on his chest.
Got you. Yeah. I didn't
He
know
said,
if you meant
I know. He said,
chest, as in like they were carrying
no,
a chest.
he's
No,
like to hold. He goes, I know what they're trying to do. And then he goes on to say that, and they just carry on walking. So he's clearly agitated over the conversation.
They've seen me, or have I just seen them? Do I reckon with that 19 perception?
No, you're just leaning against something and waiting. This is just as things are coming past. Now you could stay and continue to pickpocket and listen to rumors. That's up to you.
And this is like an upmarket-ish sort of place of town, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I'd like to do in that instance, having seen that from these guys, I'm going to recall as best I can another from earlier in the day, another guard that I've seen in town with the guard's garb on and whatever that looks like. I'm going to cast disguise self so that I look like that guard, and I'm going to approach these two, and I'm going to I cast that disguise self on myself so that I look like with this guard and I'm wearing the uniform, and I walk up to these two and I'm like, evening gentlemen, what seems to be the problem? What's happening here?
No problem, mate. Just all of you confused.
You seem to say I overheard you saying there should be another way to go about things. What might you mean about that?
I remember saying that, and he sort of looks at his mate. No, we were just talking about the troubles that's going on and the fine job that you're doing and how Stormvic are doing, and we just hope that this terrible mess gets cleaned up as quickly as possible, so we can all just go back to our business.
And what particular business are you into? And I'll try and make an insight check to see if because I just overheard them kind of talking shit about what's going down. So I'll just try and figure out if I can call their bluff on that.
Well, I'm part of the one of the holds. We take goods and we hold it ready for transport, ready for the merchants. You know, down in the hold district. Just roll let's say a performance check with advantage because of the disguise.
Okay, performance. 17.
May I say you have a strange accent.
Well, guards are being brought in from here and there these days. You know, there's a lot of trouble assailing these
Yeah,
parts.
I thought you were all from the north. But saying that, there's been a few ships arriving. I'm sure they pick up people. Oh, you're asking the questions, not me.
Quite right, quite right. Okay, well, move along then. We don't want any trouble.
It's all looking really sort of weird now. The mention of trouble, because in his mind there wasn't any. and he allows they just carry on and walking. You hear him muttering, so
We're just cracking down on descent, is what it is. So
he looks
watching
over
out.
his shoulder, thinks I'm not gonna push it, and carries on.
Yeah, all right. I'll leave it. I'll leave that be.
So what was it they said about the twice sank? Was it
Twice drowned.
twice drowned? They wish the twice drowned would just be what?
They just, what can I say? Was it capture? Twice drowned. Well, we can all go back to our business. We're watching back, and
Yeah.
that is not what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's all. That's fun. Yeah, we'll I should switch back to perfect human-looking mode and head on into El Taverno.
I'd say you're doing this in a more sort of secluded place.
Yeah, that was right. Out and around the back and the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you wander inside. What's everyone else doing? You were talking about the plan.
Yeah, we're gonna go up into the room and empty the portable hole then, or we're gonna leave it as it is.
I think we should empty it, or at least some of it.
Get the
We need space.
Get the donkeys out.
Get donkeys out, definitely.
Yeah.
We need space for the stuff that's in the crates, right? So
Leave the donkeys in the room. Chuck the weapons into the bag of holding.
Yeah, and then we're gonna leave Tobin in the room.
Well, somebody needs to keep guard of our steeds.
Yeah, I'll stay here. I'll mind it.
Yeah, well, I think let's do that then. Let's go up into the room, get the stuff out we need to do, swap over, and then when we need to leave, we can leave Tobin here.
Yeah, Matt, if you message me afterwards what weaponry we're transferring into the bag of holding, I'll put it in.
Yeah. What's in the bag of holding already? Much or not?
Not a great deal, because most of it was the money.
The gold.
And the money ended up in the portable hold, didn't it? And then we emptied it, and then I've
Yeah, but there wasn't enough room in the portable hole, so the bag of holding was pretty full too, until we emptied it.
Siphons it off. Yeah, so we'll go up to the room, lay the portable hole on the floor. I'll jump in and start launching the donkeys out first. I think it's 2 in there.
2 wooden, potentially animated donkeys. Yes.
Yeah, so launch them out.
It's a shame, really,
then-
that you can just take out the portable hole and just stick to a surface. Imagine just throwing it onto the ceiling, having just going, emptied it.
They'd have been crushed by dwarven
Just
scale
everything just
mail
tumbling out.
armor. And the other thing that's in there that I can't wait to use is that magic sword that you can't put down once you pick it up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that again.
No, it's in the portable hole, and I'm absolutely waiting for a mad RP opportunity to make somebody pick that up. I can't wait.
If shit on a blanket was weaponized, that'd be it.
Okay. I'm really tempted to give it to our little halfling mate. And never be able to move again because he's carrying this long sword.
Stay there.
Wouldn't be able to lift it.
Sorry, being silly. Yeah, we can name to you what the main heavy stuff that we've got, which is battle axes, shields, and sets of dwarven scale mail, and there should be enough room in there for whatever these crates are.
Okay, and what does that? Have you come back up to the room now?
I think I would say so.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. I don't think I knew.
I take out the note, and Tavis, do you know what this says?
Yeah, I mean, it's referring to, it's kind of a, this is what we're picking up, is it? That's what he suggested.
He handed me a piece of paper with a bunch of squares on it.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. This means basically two crates and one small box.
Okay. Didn't mention anything about the small box.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe you wouldn't expect us to know about it. Maybe we can keep our eyes out. Maybe we can take the small box from one of the crates and use it as leverage in the future. Or maybe it's a test about honesty. Either way, we get the crates. We've got time with them by ourselves, haven't we? So we can discern and decipher what is up to, what we've got in there, and how trustworthy. Because at the minute, we're doing this job basically on spec, aren't we? We're doing this job on trust, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes, we want access to the library, but it's not as if this is our sole possibility of access to the library. We've collectively got all the tricks up our sleeves, I would say.
Yeah.
I know our man over there can turn into a giant shark, and when was the last time he got a giant shark refused access to a library? It just doesn't happen, does it? So.
Be
No.
flopping about though on the floor.
Certainly be a good distraction.
Certainly would.
You need a giant octopus to get through the books faster.
Jesus Christ. It's like
Excellent.
a Swiss Army octopus, isn't it?
Excellent point.
Multi-purpose octopus.
Well, you can breathe for an hour on land.
And I can not
Oh, it
read
says, yeah.
8 books at once.
Yeah, basically, yeah, the octopus can hold his breath for an hour.
So you reckon?
Giant spider would be better because they'd have more eyes to read everything.
So you reckon this this Magnus is something to do with the people that were hung, the sons of Hakon?
Feels like that, doesn't it? Like he's like.
Feels that way.
You guys know my history. Most of you, sorry, you know my. That's awkward. Anyway, this seems like an underground kind of guy.
Yeah, Negan and Thorin, no.
You guys know what I mean. It seems like, definitely seems like an underground thing. He took us to a dodgy part of town. He told us that he needs to unload some stuff from some docks, and you know, it's
Yeah,
a great leap of faith to think maybe he's part of this revolution or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying into that. And I don't want to colour anyone's opinion. You guys are entitled to your own, but in my experience, the people in power making shows like that, hanging people, saying, "Don't rebel against us. Don't do this. Don't do that." Yeah, it stinks to me. In my experience, that's not where the side of.
It's normally the
That's not where
cause
my
of the rebellion, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a problem. Yeah, they're causing. Yeah, well.
People are treated well, they don't revolt, do they?
You'd hope not, wouldn't you? But this is just so much, such a wild situation to be here. Like, this is where Isla came from, as far as we know. Like, we're in his home islands and stuff, and we're in the dungeon. We're in the Undermountain not long ago at all, and he's gone, and now we're here where I've never been here before. Anybody else been here before?
Not me.
No.
It's got to be. We've got to be here because of. It's got to be. To, he was right there, and then he wasn't, and we were all moved, and then we all stood up in basically graves. Like what? What does that mean? It's got to mean something. Like I am confused, and I want to find our friend, and then I'm seeing this going on in front of us, and this opportunity. We've got to follow it. Definitely, that's maybe it's fate. Maybe fate. We'll find our way back to him, but
Maybe it's maybe it is fate. Maybe it's just some narrator's twisted sense of humor.
I am worried about my friend. So I'll keep picking the next thing that I see and hope it leads our way back to him. I'm trying to think how he would think. I'm trying to do the things that he would do. He's a good man. He's a better man than me, and trying to think of the choices that he would make and what we saw in those gallows. I don't think he'd back that. I don't think he would before that. So we should working with the group that's against it. I think working with Magnus. I think that it seems like the right thing to do for now.
How the rest of you feel?
We need to do something, don't we, while we're here?
I was on board with it till our little man started pointing out really obvious things we hadn't considered.
Love playing NPCs.
I feel a lot more stupid now, but we've committed to it, so we may as well crack on.
Well, if I head to the shop with one or two of you, go get this hooded lantern and whatever else is there that's useful.
Yeah.
Someone else maybe want to speak to people downstairs and find out more about what's going on in the town. Maybe get some opinions of the sons of Hakon.
Yeah, keep your ears peeled for the words about the twice drowned. I heard something about that.
Twice drowned. What's that?
I don't know. I just listening outside and keeping an eye, and a couple of people that I thought, I don't know, just keeping an eye out, and there's some subtle talk about it. So I don't know what it means. Don't know what it is.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes peeled. If you feel confident in a certain scenario, maybe drop the word, drop the phrase, see what happens.
I'll come with you, Thorin.
Alright, okay. Anybody else want to come?
Where are you heading?
I'm just gonna go to the.
I'll join you.
I'm just gonna go to the store and then come back here.
Yeah, I'll come along. Tag along, yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna head off to the store.
The Tide and Tallow.
Is there anything you two need?
I think so. Nothing really springs to mind.
Italian, anything you want?
No, not at this moment.
Okie doke.
Do you more scholarly folks want to try and see if you can? I mean, you're clearly wise or intelligent. You want to see if you can get into the library on your own, or
Not if we're going to commit to doing this. I think it's got to be one or the other.
Yeah, maybe just
you should just be paying a visit, seeing getting the lay of the land.
I can walk up that way.
At
At
least
that
get
point,
a recce or something.
I inform the party I'm going off to do a recce of the area, turn into a raven and fly off.
okay.
Hey, that's an absolute first. Talion told us he was going to do something and then did it.
He didn't give us much chance to
thought-
say no. But it's progress.
I feel like it is progress. I feel like marking this day.
I think that with Valiant transforming and taking flight, with preparations for what you're going to potentially need in order to complete this task that you've taken on for a person that you don't know
Stop
in
it.
a city with heightened political intrigue and people that are still hanging from their necks and a rope. I think that's where we'll leave it for today.